came here to chew bubblegum and roll critical hits. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Ladies, gentlemen, geeks of all ages, you are now entering BJ Shea's Geek Nation. Welcome.
Hey guys, Chris Walker here, Walk Like a Flan with BJ Shea's Geek Nation, back again with another episode of On the Couch with Chris, the guest couch. You've seen it a couple of times before. Well, it's back because, like I said, that couch at the station is getting a little bit hard to do the setup. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll with this couch today and see how we do. So for the last episode on YouTube, I talked quite a great deal about video game RPGs. There was a new list of the top 100 that came out, some of the ones that I had played, some of the ones that you might have played. Well, I felt like I needed to give equal time to my other favorite kind of RPGs, tabletop RPGs. That's right, the original role-playing games where you got to take on the role of a person who was not you, pretend to be that person, and see what kind of adventuring you could get yourself into. The primary reason I was thinking about tabletop RPGs, apart from the fact that I did video games on the last episode, there's a new RPG for Star Trek coming out, Star Trek Adventures RPG. Guys, I can't tell you how amazing this thing looks. It's been a long time coming, and there's been a lot of reports on it. The good news is it looks like it's almost here. At the date of the recording of this episode right now, I'm about 3 days away from the pre-order. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm gonna get my pre-order in on this right now because some of the stuff that it comes with, I've got my computer over here. Let me just read you some of the cool stuff that it's coming with, all right? 1701D Collectible Edition Core Rulebook. 4 sets of miniatures. 4 sets of miniatures, you guys, including Next Generation crew, Original crew, Klingons, Romulans, foam tray for all the miniature storage and dice and tokens and all that stuff, but it comes in this great box shaped, well, like a box, but done up to look like a board cube. This thing is going to be incredible. It's going to look great on the shelf. It's going to look great on the table when I'm playing it. I am so jazzed for this thing. But it got me thinking about a lot of the other RPGs that I've played in my life. And it's a lot, okay? Just a heads up, I played a lot of RPGs in my life. Like a lot of people my age, or anybody who's into role-playing games in general, they all started out with, you know, the granddaddy of them all, Dungeons & Dragons, old school Dungeons & Dragons, of course. You know, you move on from there and you get into other types of games, and there's a lot of other games out there. Gamma World was great at the time, and then, of course, along came Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, 3.5 Dungeons & Dragons, 5.0 Dungeons & Dragons, and everything in between. So Dungeons & Dragons, of course. We owe a great debt of gratitude to Gary Gygax, may he rest in peace. Everything that role-playing games are now, and in a lot of tabletop games in general, and video games for that matter, owe everything they are to Dungeons & Dragons. And if it hadn't come along when it did when I was a kid, I don't know, I might have gotten into football or baseball or something like that. Some of the other stuff that I've played, the Serenity game, this is a really fun one. Of course, if you're into Serenity and Firefly and all that stuff, then that's a great one for you anyway. It's great. It plays a lot like the show. That's a really well fleshed out world that I enjoy spending time in. Shadowrun, this one's great because it's magic and science fiction together. So you've got cyberpunks casting spells, also set in and around Seattle, something very near and dear to my heart, obviously. Pathfinder, this is a great one for people who like the feel and the world of Dungeons & Dragons, but want just a slightly different take on it. Pathfinder is leading to a new game that's coming out actually called Starfinder, so it's going to be Pathfinder in space, but it's going to be so much more than that. I got to hang out at PaizoCon just recently. The company, Paizo, that makes Pathfinder and now Starfinder, they had a lot to say about this new game, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of world building. I cannot wait to give you guys a full report on that once I get a chance to actually play it. Cyberpunk and the follow-up to that, Cyberpunk 2020. The Robotech role-playing game was great. I've played Star Trek role-playing games. I've played Star Wars role-playing games. The World of Darkness stuff was really great. I've got Vampire the Masquerade stuff tattooed on the back of my neck. I won't show that to you now because A, I would have to turn my back to you and I wouldn't be able to see exactly where the camera was getting me, so that would be tricky and probably not work very well. And B, I'd have to take my shirt off and nobody wants to see that. You know, you had Vampire the Masquerade, you had Werewolf the Apocalypse, you had Changeling the Dreaming, you had Hunter the something. I don't remember. I didn't play a lot of Hunter, but the other ones I played a lot of, especially Vampire. I was in a LARPing group where we played Vampire and Werewolf combined. This was a great world. It gave everyone the opportunity for a lot of really excellent role-playing, and that's the key to a role-playing game, is becoming your character in a way that you're making decisions for this person based on that character and not so much what you know as a person, and that is what makes that so great. And it was a lot of fun to do, and I liked being able to assume the persona of somebody else, and oh, by the way, that person can do magic, or, you know, swing 3 swords at a time. Aren't they 3 swords at a time? Yeah, why not? Sure. But that's the beauty of role-playing games, and it's something that it's a little bit harder to put your finger on with video game RPGs. I mean, what they do in video game RPGs is give you a lot of choices and a lot of opportunities to either be good or evil, or to go down a certain path that might lead to a different ending, or, you know, side with a different faction. Tabletop RPGs, they encourage you to actually become and to get into the mindset of your character and be able to think along those lines and to think creatively with options that you don't necessarily have as a person, but that your character has in the game. I just love that aspect of it, and that's one of the reasons that I've been playing as many and as long as I have with these RPG games. What I want to know is, what about you guys? Are there any games that I missed? Anything that you think I should try? Anything that you loved or didn't love, and you want to tell me a little bit about it? That's great. This motion that I made a minute ago without actually saying anything means leave a comment down below in the comments, because that's where comments go. Let's get a conversation started about this, guys. It's one of my favorite subjects. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you guys are into. Let me know, okay? Well, that's about all the time I have, though, so until next time, stay nerdy. I think I said something in there about some of the more obscure games. There's a lot of obscure ones that, honestly, I mean, you guys, Hole, H-O-L, maybe you've heard of it. Probably not. It was a really obscure one. There was an Elf Quest RPG that I really got into for a while. This is all going to be at the end anyway. I'm cutting this and moving it to the end of the video, so don't even worry about paying attention to me right now. It'll all be at the end, okay?